What's good, y'all? Back again, another day. It's your boy, the Curtis York. Welcome to Yorktown, y'all. I'm back again with another video, and today, what we're going to be talking about is the OSHA 30 examination and classes using the HSI platform. So if you're interested in the OSHA 30 exam, what it is and how it works, then stay tuned because that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Alright, y'all. So today, like I said, what we're talking about is what the OSHA 30 is and how it can help you. So the OSHA 30 exam is actually a comprehensive safety program that's designed to enhance workplace safety. It covers various industries and it gets very in-depth into the weeds. Instead of just covering basic information, it breaks everything down to you in fine detail. That way, when you get your certification, you'll be able to provide a substantial impact in your career. So that's what it is. The OSHA 30 exam, once you have your certification, it definitely makes you more marketable. Having your certification boosts your impact in the field. It also increases your opportunity to work at higher level capacities. It gives you a much better resource and it provides a lot of different opportunities that you might not have access to without it. It also boosts your professional credibility and it makes sure that it helps you enhance your practices in the field. So not only do you have it on paper, but you'll be able to use those skills in the field, which will allow you to be much more marketable and much more beneficial to whatever space that you're using it for specifically. And speaking from personal experience, I was unemployed. Well, I lost my job back in October of 2023. And prior to me having it, I would apply to jobs and, I wouldn't get as much feedback. But now that I have completed my certification just last week, I've had far more recruiters reach out to me. I'd say about 5 recruiters reached out to me last week. And then also, the quality of the jobs that I've been getting offers on have been much higher. So immediately, once I updated my LinkedIn profile to show that I had my OSHA certification and I passed my final test, my trajectory skyrocketed a lot in the construction space. Now, in terms of the actual way that you could go about getting your certification, there's live classes and there's online platforms. For me, I decided to go with the online platform just because it best fit where I was at the time. Again, unemployed, I had a lot of free time, so I could just go on a course and do as much as I felt like for the day and then be done rather than having to have a set defined option or to go to a classroom or something like that. So, you have to go with what works best for you. I went specifically with the HSI platform, and the reason that I went with the HSI platform was because I went to the actual OSHA website and I saw them there as an accredited application service for the OSHA 30. So that's what led me to go with them. Some of the pros of it is, like I said, you can log in and move at your own pace. The courses are very hands-on and interactive. There's a mixed variety of how they're offered. So you have videos, you have cartoons, there's some information that's just written down. And for the visual learners, you have that. The auditory learners, you have that. So it definitely filters and covers different aspects of learning styles, how you go. And then you move at your own pace, which is definitely a plus. Because I was able to move at my own pace, I was able to take very, very copious notes. And I definitely encourage you to do that. The HSI platform, it had 80 sections. And then the one section was the actual exam. So 81 sections total, which worked out because you can sign out and sign back in and work at your own pace. And that helped out a lot. That made it very easy for me, given the situation that I had going on, being unemployed, and then just random life happens. I have 2 under 2 and an 8-year-old, so I was able to work at my own pace, at my own schedule. it was a game changer for me. And then also you add in the fact that it's very user friendly. It's easy, it's simple, it's straightforward. What you see is what you get, and it worked out for me. And I was able to complete everything in just over 2 months rather. So I started the first week of November, and then I finished the third week of January, just to give you a time frame of how long it took me. Some of the cons of the HSI platform, sometimes, and I did actually make a complaint to the company, sometimes, depending on when you logged in, it wouldn't work. So for example, sometimes when the kids wouldn't be able to sleep, say 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning after I put them back to sleep and I couldn't go to sleep, I would try to log on and the system just wouldn't work. So that was definitely a con. Sometimes it would freeze, and when it freezes, you don't really know how long it's going to be frozen. And once it freezes, it's not going to log your hours, and if it doesn't log your hours, then you're not doing it. So that was definitely a negative aspect of it. And then I think those were really the biggest 2 complaints I would have about it. Everything else flowed pretty smoothly. I would say the technical glitches and the limited offline access. So if you were offline, you didn't have access to the platform at all. It's not like an app or something that you can use offline, because they don't have any way to log your hours. So once again, like I said, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, if it wasn't working, there was nothing you could do, and there's no memo that says, hey, the app is down from this time to this time or anything like that. So I would definitely say those 2 would be the biggest cons that I had. Tips. So I definitely want to give you a couple tips. Like I said, for me, I took copious notes, and I highly encourage you to do the same. Now, the way you take your notes is definitely on you. You can use your phone, put them in your phone app. You can screenshot the actual pages if that works for you, or you can just write them down like I did. I prefer to take the old-fashioned route. That way, if I needed to refer to it on the job site or something like that, I could easily pull out my notes and it'll always be there. But you got to do what works best for you. I would definitely say set aside some time to do it. It's called the OSHA 30 hour because it takes 30 hours to complete the exam. I actually managed to clock in about double that. It took me 60 hours, but like I said, I was taking notes, so I wrote everything down. The final exam was actually 30 questions, but you got to remember, there's 80 chapters, so you don't know which chapter the questions are going to come from or how they pull it, and I'm pretty sure that every time you take the test, it's randomized. I was able to pass on my first try, thanks to the fact that I took notes. Also, what you want to remember is that the exam itself, well, not the exam, but the overall platform. So the way that it's broken down is you have 80 chapters, and at all of those chapters, you have a test at the end of the chapter. Now, you can only fail 2 exams total. So out of 80 sections, you only get 2 failures. And the way that you fail is if you take, let's say, section 1, chapter 1. If you fail the exam at the end of chapter 1 3 times, then it counts as a fail. You'll be logged out. Once you log out, then you'll have to click retest, and you retest and you get 1 more time. If you fail that 1 more time, then that means you have to start all the way over and you have to pay again. So if you get to chapter 79 and you fail the first 3 times, and then it locks you out, and you go back in and you fail again, then you have to restart from chapter 1 and you have to pay the money over again. Thankfully, I didn't fail and get locked out any times, so I'm extremely grateful for that. Like I said, I took notes, it helped out. And you gotta remember, it's 80 chapters. Unless you have photographic memory, which some people do, I was not one of those people. It's gonna be hard to remember every detail of every section in every chapter, because each chapter is broken down into different sections. So chapter 5, for example, you may have 5 different sections in chapter 5. At the end of each section, you have a mini test, like a quiz. And then at the end of the whole chapter, once you complete all of them, then you have your final test. Also, something to keep in mind, as you're going through each section, there's a time requirement that you have to make. It's mapped out so that when you finish each section, by the time you're done, it'll add out to 30 seconds. If you finish fast, it's not going to let you take the test. So you'll have to go back until you complete the little timer. That's a problem that I didn't run into because, again, I took a lot of notes, and my notes actually had me running over, which is how I hit 60 hours. So those are some tips you definitely want to keep in mind. The biggest thing is going to the OSHA courses with the intention of actually using them in the field rather than getting your certification just to have your certification, because you'll never know when these things will come up, and you're dealing with very, very, very important topics and issues that you'll probably run across in the workspace. So it's good to have that information. That's how I went into it, and that's what helped me out, and that's how I was able to complete it. Hopefully it works for you, but everybody has to find their own strategy and do what works best for them in order to get their certificate. All right, so in conclusion, keep in mind that when you do your OSHA 30, it's an investment in yourself. I think the cost was $125 if I'm not mistaken, which at the time it wasn't much for me because, again, I was unemployed, but I had money saved up. So it's definitely something that you want to consider, and you want to look at it once again as an investment. You're investing in your future, you're investing in your career, and you're showing people that you're serious about your craft. And also, if you're an entrepreneur, it gives your employees comfort knowing that they're working with someone that is certified and they understand their safety and what the requirements are. I've worked for companies that didn't really take that into consideration, and I looked back at the end upon my completion and I was like, wow, there were a lot of OSHA hazards that we definitely could have ran into that could have been prevented, had somebody been OSHA 30 certified. So there's definitely a lot of benefits and value that comes along with it. So I hope you find much success and you decide to go ahead on and pursue your OSHA 30. Like I said, I've already seen the benefits and it's only been a week. And I know that once I get on the job site and once I use it again, or once I get to use it in the field, I'll actually see more difference. And then again, just every day, there's a section on traffic control. And when I'm riding down the street, I can tell my wife, the lanes are blocked off this way because, and then I can just cite the OSHA reference or, pull out my notebook or whatever works, and I can show her and explain it to her just because I have that knowledge and it's with me. So I definitely wish you luck as you decide to pursue your OSHA 30. Like I said, I went through the HSI platform and I hope you find success with it if that's the route that you want to go. Any route that you decide to go, more power to you and good luck. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you around.